Hello everyone and welcome back to the third episode of my Pokémon Trinity Showcase, a fan game that is being developed by me, Updog734. In the last episode, we left off with agreeing to help Elliot find the gym leaders who he believes are in hiding. We're going to start looking down this path here in the Winding Forest to see what we can find. As I said in the last video, I did a few things off screen. I caught this Sentret here just so we could have Cut, because Beldum and Murkrow could not learn Cut. And then I leveled up these guys a little bit while I was looking for Sentret. I got Beldum to 10, Murkrow to 11. Hopefully we're in a good spot here. So we are going to go right into it and start cutting down some of these weeds. So this part is going to take a little bit of time because I really choked the path with a lot of weeds. Kind of to make it a little bit more realistic that it's really hard to get past this area. Also ends up making it a little bit annoying for people playing the game, but I think that's okay for the sake of the storyline. There's some little tricks that you can kind of get around some of them, but you will have to cut down a majority of them to get through. So in the forest, as I mentioned, it took me a little while to find somebody. I think the only two people, I would have to double check this, but I think the only two people that can learn Cut are Sentret and Nincada, both of whom are available in the forest, so not too hard to find somebody that can learn it. Some of the birds I think might be able to learn it, like maybe Pidgey can, but I'd have to double check that. I know for sure Sentret can, and I know for sure Nincada can, so those are two options right away to be able to use Cut. I guess I didn't think about the cave either. There's maybe Spinarak could learn it. I don't think Zubat can, but so a couple options to learn Cut and get your way through here. We're almost to the end. Okay, I think this will be the last one we have to cut. Okay. You hear voices up ahead. So we have these two characters here, a man and a little girl. So he says, "Is that someone entering the clearing? Tessa, get in the tent, quickly." "Who's there? Show yourself." So we get control again here to go approach this man. "You don't look like a liberator. How in the world did you find us back here? The path should be choked with weeds." You tell him about Elliot's conspiracy and his HM invention. So essentially here you're telling him about Elliot's idea to find the gym leaders and how he thinks that they're just in hiding. "Huh, he sounds like a pretty smart guy. I'm just relieved you aren't here to threaten us, or worse. The name's Mac, bug Pokemon enthusiast and ex-gym leader. So you want to hear my story, huh? About 6 years ago, a group of liberators came to Larkinge City. While two of the grunts battled the trainers in my gym, a strange woman with long, light blue hair headed straight for me." So a quick little side note here. You're supposed to kind of remember that in the very beginning, the intro sequence, the picture of the woman who took you away from mom and dad also had oddly colored, long blue hair. This person he's talking about has light blue hair. Obviously, the woman that took you had dark blue hair, so just something to draw a correlation with. Max says, "She had a team of flying-type Pokemon. My bugs didn't stand a chance. The worst is what happened afterwards. Her Unpheasant rushed forward and grabbed my daughter Tessa. Its sharp beak was pointed right at her throat. I begged the woman to let her go. She gave me an ultimatum: leave town and never return, or they would take my daughter's life. I had no choice. We packed up our things quickly and headed into the forest. We've been living in constant fear that the woman will come back. I'll never let anything happen to my Tessa, no matter what." So then you tell him about a little bit more here about Elliot's grand plan. "Come out of hiding, stand up against the liberators. You must be crazy. I already told you, I can't do that. Tessa would be in danger. However, you did mention that this Elliot fellow has a secret underground lab, right? I suppose I would be willing to hide out there while the other gym leaders are found. I'm getting ahead of myself. This plan has so many holes in it. The Liberators are tough, like really, really tough. I can't believe I'm saying this. Battle me. I need to know that I'm aligning with a team that actually stands a chance against these guys. If you can beat me, I will join your cause. I have to admit, getting the chance to get some revenge on those jerks sounds great. Go and prepare your team. I'll be here when you're ready to battle. So, Mac, I think Tessa comes back out too. So we learn a little bit more there about the Liberators and a little bit about their cruelty. So again, the majority of people are out there thinking that they're like the protectors of Zarko, yet one of these Liberators with long hair is threatening this man's daughter's life. So very, very cruel and intense things. We know Delvin Drabeck sent the Liberators to close the gyms. We just didn't know how until this point. So this is essentially our first gym battle, even though it's not very traditional. It's in the clearing of this forest. But I know Mac can actually pose quite a challenge from some people that have played it and just from my own experience with him in the game. That was one of the reasons why I really, really recommend getting a bird type, or flying type, one of the birds early on, because they have that special, or super effective advantage, rather. Beldum is not too bad, but obviously Murkrow is going to be kind of our ace in this battle. Sentret's really not going to do anything. He's just here for cut. So I did, while off screen, I went and bought 5 more potions just so we had a really good stock of them. I'm going to keep the rare candy back and kind of wait to see if we can beat him the first time here before we use that as a potential boost for our team. So we'll save it here and we're going to jump right in. So Max says, "Are you ready? I haven't had this feeling in years. The adrenaline is coursing through my body." Tessa says, "Good luck, Daddy." "Thanks, baby. I'll do my best for you. This is it. I won't hold anything back." Here's a cool animation that I included, kind of like Luna's, but a little bit different. So the gym leaders are going to look like this. The background there being kind of the color associated with their type. So Mac is our bug type gym leader. Starts out with Venipede at level 9. He does have 3 Pokemon. Obviously, his ace is what I'm most worried about, but I won't reveal who that is yet, just to keep some suspense. We're pretty good set up here, I believe, because Confusion should be super effective on Venipede with his poison typing. And he doesn't have many good moves. One cool thing about the gym leaders is, for now, I've made them all have 3 Pokemon, just as at least the first couple. I'm toying with the idea of making the later gym leaders have more, or just making 3 and obviously getting stronger. But the TM, this is a little bit different than regular Pokemon games. The TM that they give you, which obviously that's from the normal games too, but the TM they give you is actually known by all 3 of their Pokemon, and I try to have that be a constant, which I think is pretty cool because it's essentially their favorite move that they're rewarding you. So Venipede was pretty easy. He's about to send out his ace, who is Mothim. I don't know how to change who they send out. Like, I kind of wish he would save his ace for last, but that's okay. We're actually going to leave Beldum in because I'm a little bit worried. Mothim is pretty strong, so I kind of want to try to use some Leers. Struggle Bug is his best move here. So that didn't do too much. Okay, so we can get a couple Leers off. I think that's our best bet, is to lower his defense with Beldum as much as we can. If he gets really low, maybe in the next turn, maybe we'll heal and try to deal some damage. But with his defenses lowered, those pecks from Murkrow should be pretty devastating to him. But I'm gonna go ahead and use one of our potions. We have plenty of them. Also has Gust, so he has 2 stab moves. Again, that can make it kind of hard if you have a bug or grass type early on. Let's go for the Metal Claw, because that's going to be our move that's going to deal a little bit more damage. See, and he's already dealing quite a bit to Beldum. Not bad. Oh, we got the crit. Okay, I was going to say I was very surprised at how much that just did. But now I'm not worried at all, so we're just going to switch to Confusion. He might KO us here. Yes, okay, so I'm hoping we outspeed. I'm not really sure, though. But even if we don't, I don't think he's going to be able to one-hit KO us. Oh, Murkrow did learn Haze when he turned level 11 also. Sweet, so we knocked out his Ace Mothim. Ooh, we might get... Yes, okay, Murkrow to level 12. Awesome. And 13, okay. That's the other kind of cool thing, is that since Mothim is a fully evolved Pokemon and he's so early in the game here, you get a good amount of experience for beating him. We'll just leave Murkrow in here because we'll pretty easily take care of his Spinarak. Ideally, he should use Venipede, then Spinarak, then Mothim, because their levels kind of increase. He has 9, 10, and then 12, I think it was. So, I don't know if there's a way you can change that in the game or with Pokemon Essentials. There might be, but I'm not really aware of it, so. Alright. So he actually did not pose as much of a challenge as I thought he was going to. I'm actually surprised at how much Beldum put into that battle. I was banking on needing Murkrow more. So he says, incredible. Gives you $1,200. That battle was totally awesome. Tessa says, but Daddy, you lost. Haha, I know I did. But battling isn't always about winning. Sometimes what's more important is what you learn along the way. I learned that Updog here is a formidable trainer. With the right training and help along the way, we might just stand a chance against Delvin Drabeck. You beat me fair and square. I haven't given one of these out in years, but you've earned it. Here's a neat little animation you get for the Critter badge. The badge, like the picture of the badges, I did get from other resources online, so I'll definitely in the credits of the game be crediting them as appropriate. The Critter badge is the first official gym badge of the Zarko Pokemon League. Not that it means much with the league dismantled, but you deserve to have it. And it wouldn't be a true gym victory if I didn't give you a TM gift. So you get Struggle Bug, his being his favorite move. My favorite move, use it wisely. Now let's get going. Tessa, pack up your things. We're going back to Larkinge City. So we just have a cool little fast travel, if you will, back to Elliot's lab. Elliot says, I can't believe you found Mac and convinced him to join our cause. Great job, Updog. Now that we've got some momentum going, there's no point in stopping. I know you're anxious to get back to Barnsley Town to check on your parents, but I have some intel you'll want to hear first. Right past the western central plains is a huge stone quarry. A reliable source tells me that there's a strange-looking rock formation on the east wall. If you're thinking what I'm thinking, it definitely would be worth checking out on your way to Barnsley Town. Here, my latest HM invention should help you out. You actually get a TM Rock Smash here. I didn't really feel the need to change it to an HM. It serves the same purpose. So Elliot says, try using Rock Smash to break up some of those rocks in the stone quarry. Oh, before I forget, I have something really special for you. Building upon the work of the famous Professor Oak from Kanto, I've created a Pokédex. Since you'll be doing most of the work out in the field, you can document the Pokemon you catch with it. So here, finally, after the first gym battle, you receive your Pokédex. He says, let me know what you find in the stone quarry. If you talk to Tessa and Mac, they just say some supportive things. He's ready to battle. Tessa mentions that he's all happy and excited again. So just some cool things. So they're going to hang out here in Elliot's lab. We automatically get back to Larkinge City, which is kind of nice, so we don't have to travel there. I'm going to run to the Pokemon Center and heal. And actually, let me check first. If not, something I'll probably change it so that your Pokemon get healed during that fast travel, just to make it a little more convenient for the player that you don't have to do this and run to heal your Pokemon. I don't know if I mentioned this in the last video, but if you try to leave Larkinge City to the east before battling Mac, you won't be able to. It just says a generic message of there's some things I need to do first. And you'll see why in a minute here. So, okay, let me get to this edge. We're heading for the stone quarry, so we'll remember this crying girl here, that her lost Pokemon is somewhere in the stone quarry. Actually, I'll just use my hot item here. Okay, so region map. After Larkinge City, we'll hit the first route of the Central Plains. Like I mentioned in previous videos, there's 4 Central Plains routes. So we're going to be heading down the western route here, and then finding the stone quarry. which is pretty convenient at this point because it's on our way to Barnsley Town. So we will probably stop there and check out that weird rock formation first. And actually, I'm going to check. I'm willing to bet Centric can learn Rock Smash, so that'll be nice that she can just have that. She cannot, or he cannot. Okay, so we'll have to catch somebody that can learn that. That's alright. I'll do a quick save here. And as we head into this route, we are stopped by some liberators. So this woman says, "Pardon us. Please let us pass. We need to respond to an urgent issue in Larkinge City." So of course you're not going to move. She says, "I said move." Huh, such a disrespectful little brat. "John, come with me. We'll find another way through." "Michael, will you teach this insolent child a lesson?" And he says, "With pleasure, Lady Virgo." So again, if you notice this lady here, long, light blue hair, fits the description of the lady that closed down Mac's gym and threatened his daughter's life. So Lady Virgo, we have a name for her now. Oh, and there we go. I just caught a bug. So originally her name was Lady Sagittarius. So there's obviously a Zodiac-themed trend going on, but I have to change that text box so that it says Virgo. So maybe next time you'll think twice about disrespecting your elders. So she and John go away. You actually cannot get around Michael. If you say something here, he'll say, "Where are you going? Are you scared to battle?" But you can go back into Larkinge City if you forgot to heal. I didn't want somebody to forget to heal and then get thrown into this Liberator battle. So we'll go ahead and fight him. Time to pay for your disrespect. Another cool animation unique to the Liberators here. I actually really like this one. And if you notice the music is the same as the intro I use for my YouTube videos. And if you're a seasoned Pokemon player, you probably recognize it from Black and White. It is the Team Plasma music, which I think is my favorite Pokemon music like ever. I just think it sounds really, really cool. So I use that for my battles with the Liberators too. Probably not smart to be using Beldum here against a fire type. So let's throw out Murkrow. I do want Beldum to get some experience because he's now lagging behind Murkrow in level. But he should get something even from switching out then. I think Liberator Michael here was another one that I had some problems with him being overpowered. That's something I seem to struggle a lot with, that I have to really check myself. It's one thing to go into the text files and change the level of things, like level wild Pokemon and trainers up kind of in a step fashion. Like in this route, they're up to level 10, the next they're up to 20, something like that. But then you really have to think about how exponential the levels go up. So it's a pretty fast increase first, but then it slows down as you go. Just something I've noticed from making fan games. We'll go back to Beldum here, try to get him some experience. So Michael's going to send out Phantump, which Phantump you can actually obtain at this point in the game. He is a 1% encounter rate at night in the Winding Forest, just like Munchlax, as we talked about, is the 1% in the daytime. He swaps out for Phantump at night. I don't think, so the person in Oak Grove Town that says the day and night differences, I don't know if he includes these guys. I might be forgetting, but that could be just a thing that I wanted to keep kind of a surprise. I tried to use Leer there, but I don't know if it registered that I moved over. No, it didn't. Okay, well, we'll see what this does. I'm going to use one of those potions here because, again, I want to get Beldum some experience. The Central Plains route is pretty cool. I like them a lot because the way I designed them is to be completely open as a real plains system would be. So there's really no path to follow. I mean, obviously there's the general path, but it just takes on the shape of the route. So there's no dirt path or route that you should follow. I mean, he's getting a lot of flinches on me. And there's kind of just grass everywhere in big patches. So that's just kind of the theme for all four of those routes that you can traverse. I like to include wild Pokemon too that are pretty typical of what you would find in that environment. So with the Central Plains, I did my best to do like kind of horse or dog or even like rodent themed Pokemon, just because in a plane system that's might be what you expect to find. Alright, at least we got Beldum to 11. And he learned Confuse Ray too. That actually will be pretty helpful. Alright, so we defeat Liberator Michael. He says, "Not cool, kid. Now I've got to try to catch up with them." Alright, and they are gone. So we're supposed to be thinking here and wondering how Lady Virgo heard about this. So we're assuming she's going to investigate something with Mac. But he should be safe and sound in Elliot's lab, so we shouldn't worry too much, but just know that they're investigating what's going on. We'll heal up Beldum a little bit here. I'm going to save again real fast. Okay, so like I said, the Central Plains here are pretty open, which I think is kind of neat to be able to explore. And as I said, there's plains beyond the gate that you can't explore just because the entire middle of the region is a big plain system. So yeah, I think he mentions this. Yeah, beyond this gate is a huge expanse of flat land. They call it the Central Plains. Because it's so big, there's only 4 routes along the outside borders that trainers usually traverse. So each portion of the Central Plains that you can go through is a little bit different, but they all have the same general concept. So we've got some trainers to fight through here. Youngster Teddy. I have to say, I don't love Centrit's design. I don't think I ever really have, even from the beginning in Johto. I like Furret, but I don't know. Something about Centrit I just think is kind of odd. But he's not too bad as far as your, like, Route 1 rodents go. I think Zigzagoon was really, really cool in Gen 3. I really liked his design. Honestly, though, not a huge fan of Galarian Zigzagoon and Linoon. I think they were, like, really, really popular. And even with Obstagoon... Oh, there's Zigzagoon now. I didn't even know he was about to come out. But even with Obstagoon joining the evolution line in Sword and Shield, I don't know. They're okay, but I think I prefer the original Hoenn form. Hopefully only one more hit with that Leer. Oh, of course he gets a flinch. I always feel like, and this is obviously not true, I'm sure it's all a chance, but I always feel like when you're fighting trainers, they get the additional effects more than you end up getting them. Like, they always make you flinch, they always make you fall asleep, whatever the additional effect is, but that's probably just a bias that I'm noticing. Let's use another quick potion on Beldum here. Just doing this to avoid having to run back to Larkin City. I think we might try to add someone to our team. Let's do that. Let's see some of the wilds that we can find here in the Central Plains. So we have another bird, Pidove. But since we already have Murkrow, obviously we're not going to add him. I like to diversify the team a little bit just so you have good type coverage. So Pidove, you can find pretty readily. I think there are a few day and night differences in this route. Ponyta is a pretty cool one. Like I said, a horse. So some horse ones. I know you can find Blitzel on this route too. Trying to decide who I would want to add to my team. I definitely want to add someone. I don't think I want to add Ponyta at this point. But this level 10 Ponyta should give us some good experience. Look, I'm assuming it's going to get us to level 12, which will be cool. One step closer to being even with Murkrow. That's another like weird thing about how I play Pokemon games. I always want my team to be like the same level or as close to the same level as possible. So whoever's lagging behind, I'll usually play with them first in my party until they get closer or the same level as the higher level people. I don't know if that's typical or not for people playing Pokemon, but it's definitely how I end up playing. Alright, so we got level 12 with that wild battle. Do a few more wild encounters just to see some of the variety. So you can find Zigzagoon here. Don't know, maybe Zigzagoon would be a good team add. Might not be the most powerful addition to the team, but I do know he can learn a lot of HMs. Although for now I really don't mind having Sentret just tag along for HMs. Let's do maybe one more wild. Another Zigzagoon. Okay. I think, if I remember right, I think Poochyena can be found at night instead of Zigzagoon, just kind of like his counterpart. And then there's a few others that actually I will pull up in a second here when this battle is over. I'll pull up the list, pick out a few, and then maybe I'll do some kind of like Twitter poll or a comment thing to have people weigh in on who the next team member should be. Alright, so let me see here. Okay, let me pull up quickly my list of who's available on this route. Okay, so we are in the Central Plains. Where are we? West. Okay. So, yes, you can find Zigzagoon in the daytime, Poochyena at night. You can find Meowth in the daytime, and Purloin at night. Then the ones you can find all the time are Pidove, Ponyta, Blitzel, Patrat, Fletchling, Togedemaru, and Ekans. So there's nobody at a 1% encounter rate, but Fletchling, Togedemaru, and Ekans are all at a 5%, so they're pretty rare. Then you have Meowth, Purloin, or Patrat at 10%, Blitzel at 11%, and then Ponyta and up are a little bit more common. I don't know if I like any of those choices, really. We may just wait until the Stone Quarry. For now, let's do some more of these. Oops, another wild. Let's do some more of these trainer battles. And then we'll kind of decide. I guess if I had to choose somebody from that list on this route to add to our team, I guess I do lean towards the fire type, but I don't want Ponyta for some reason. The only other one would be Fletchling, and we already have a flying type. So that being said, maybe one of those normal types, like Meowth, Zigzagoon, or Patrat. I guess of those three, maybe I'll do a poll of those three and see if anyone has a preference. Okay, I know this painter is a trainer. And of course I gave him Smeargle, like all of the painter characters seem to have the painting Pokemon there. Very interesting Pokemon. I've never tried to use a Smeargle. Honestly, don't have any desire to. Especially with only having Sketch. That just seems very frustrating to try to use him. Alright, so Beldum got to 13 there. Now he's even with Murkrow. We have 2 13s. We'll probably keep Beldum in front just for now, just because he was kind of our starter. I like to keep him in front when I can, and now that they're both even, we can kind of go back and forth. Once Beldum hits 13, we'll let 14. We'll let Murkrow get to 14, then move on. This person says these rocks look like they came from the stone quarry. Some of them look like they have little shiny bits in them. That's a little foreshadowing to something that we'll probably visit in the next episode. We'll get our 3 Premier Balls from this chest. That's pretty cool. Girl here says, I already received 2 badges before the Liberator shut down the gyms, but I don't mind. I'm glad I don't have to travel far from my family to collect more pointless badges. Here's a trainer here. So that girl walking around that just said that, again, just furthering that narrative that most people are kind of okay with what happened 6 years ago when Draybeck shut down the gyms. I think it's an interesting stance to take, and that's kind of why I wanted to do that in this game, is the idea that, like, obviously Sun and Moon explored the idea of not really having gyms, but having the, what do they call them, the trials. But in this game, I was kind of thinking, well, what if a region didn't really have a gym system? And then I kind of thought, well, why would that be? And went with that train of thought, well, maybe somebody kind of shut it down. Obviously, there's a deeper storyline that's going to emerge as we continue through the game, revolving around Delvin Draybeck's motivations, like why would he do this? So that'll come to be later. So definitely, if you're interested in the storyline so far, keep following, because I'll try to do the playthroughs like I'm doing now, kind of like a Let's Play, up until the point of where it's been developed. But then from that moment forward, I'm planning on either doing videos or maybe streaming even of me developing the game. So I think that would be kind of cool. That's what I wanted to do originally, is kind of just showcase me working on the game and explaining what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. But then I just thought it would be kind of difficult for people watching to really be hooked on the storyline or what I'm doing, because I'm about halfway through it, so you wouldn't have any knowledge of the beginning parts. So I thought it would be a good idea to just start with a kind of a Let's Play up until the moment that is developed, and then go from there. So let's leave Beldum in and then maybe switch to Murkrow here, just because it's going to be a little more difficult to defeat that Ponyta, but also Beldum will get that little bit of experience he needs to get to 14. We'll just go with Peck. I think that's... Obviously, Pursuit's not going to be too bad, but Peck or Pursuit are his best attacking moves here, and we got the crit too, so that's good. Oh, and he also got a crit. Okay. That's okay. Beldum should be able to handle it from here. Go with Confusion. Alright, at least he'll get to 14. And trying to learn Iron Defense. I like the idea of that instead of Leer. But I also like Leer's ability to lower their defense. We're gonna do it. Let's learn Iron Defense. At least that way you don't have to keep using Leer when a new Pokemon comes out. You are changing the stats on your own end. I kind of prefer those type of stat moves. Okay, so I'm going to do a quick run to the Pokemon Center now to heal. Okay, so now I think we just have maybe one more trainer. And then we'll wrap this episode up at the end of this route of the Central Plains. I think that guy there. Oh, and I forgot to put Murkrow first to get him to 14. That's okay, though. So a lot of campers and picnickers on this route. I did kind of the same thing with trainers to where I kind of tried my best to match them to the routes. I think most Pokemon games do that anyways. Okay, we are actually going to switch right away because it looks like he's got a bug type here. And he's going to continually use Harden, I'm sure. So it's going to be a little bit easier to take him out with a flying type. Alright, Murkrow's getting a lot of those critical hits. That's pretty awesome. I know his ability doesn't have anything to do with that. We must just be getting lucky. He has that ability that he can't fall asleep, if I remember right. Switching to Pursuit here. And we'll get Murkrow to 14. Alright. So our team is leveling up pretty steadily. We'll keep Murkrow out here for Numel. Oops. For Numel. To avoid that super effective fire damage. I always like Numel. He's like one of my favorite designs. I just think he's really cool. Him and Camerupt. Pretty cool designs. And I love the fire type. Fire and Dragon are two of my favorite types, so definitely like his design. I loved his Mega Evolution too. Camrup's Mega Evolution, I thought it looked awesome. Was a big fan of Mega Evolution. That was probably my favorite like generational gimmick that they included. Thought that was pretty neat. Kind of wish they just stuck around. Okay, so we get the defeat there. Alright, so here is our entrance to the Stone Quarry, and I think I'm going to wrap up this episode here and leave it in a little bit of suspense so we can cover the Stone Quarry in the next episode. So we'll look forward to that when we get to investigate that suspicious pile of rocks looking for the gym leaders and get one step closer to Barnsley Town to figure out what's going on back at home. So if you like this video, make sure you follow, give it a like, leave a comment if you really want to say something about it or you want a copy of the game yourself. So as always, just keep following if you want to see more of Pokemon Trinity. Otherwise, I'll save it here, and that'll be it for this video.